Okay, here's the first thing you're going to do today. I want you to flip that over, okay, to these problems. This actually doesn't take long. I want you to write 3 formulas you need to be familiar with, okay? The speed of a car equals to the distance, how far, just put distance divided by time, okay? Now, the distance of a car, that's how far a car travels, is the speed. Now, the speed is what it goes in miles per hour, what your little thing says in the car, 55, 60, whatever, multiplied by the time you travel in hours. Okay, and then lastly, the time is the distance is equal to the distance divided by the speed. Have those 3 things up there. Speed is miles per hour. When they say miles per hour, okay, that's the speed. You take the distance you travel, total distance traveled to a place, divided by how long it took you. The distance, that's how far one is to the other. Okay, when you're traveling, you take the speed you were traveling at, the miles per hour, multiplied by the time. The times the distance divided by speed. A car travels 250 miles for a time of 5 hours. Find its speed. Okay? So we're finding the speed. We have to find the speed. So I use this formula up here, the first one. Speed equals distance divided by time. So distance is how far it traveled. It traveled 250 miles, okay? The time is 12 times 5 hours. So divide 250 by 5, and that's going to be 50. And when you're dividing, here's how you label it. You put miles and then hour. 50 miles per hour, miles over hour. Okay, car travels at a speed of 60 miles per hour for a time of 4 hours, okay? Find the distance it traveled. So now I have to find the distance traveled, so I'm going to use this, okay? So distance equals speed multiplied by time. So speed, I want to see, or you can put mph, it doesn't matter. If you want to put miles per hour, that's fine too. But that's how the speed is labeled. Here, I'll put how they're labeled here. Okay. If you're finding the speed, you label it mph. If you're finding the distance, it's just miles. Okay. If you're finding the time, it's just in hours. So that's the label, because I do want you to put labels on these. So just scribble it out and put mph then when you're finding the speed, miles per hour. Okay, so anyway, on the next one, we're finding the distance. So I take my speed, 60 miles per hour. And my time is 4 hours. Okay, so I just multiply 60 times 4. You know, it's not like an equation you have to solve. So it's 240. Now put a label on the distance. Find the distance. The distance is just miles. Okay, a car travels a distance of 600 miles at an average speed of 60 miles per hour. Find the time it traveled. Okay, so now you have to find the time. So you're going to use time equals distance divided by the speed. So the distance is the 600 miles. That's how far it traveled. The speed is the mph, miles per hour, or 600, my bad, 600 miles. The speed is a 60 miles per hour, so that's 60, okay? So I divide 600 by 60, and that gives me the time it traveled. So 10. Now if you're finding time, you put your label in hours. Okay, a car travels at an average speed of 55 miles per hour for a time of 2 hours. Find the distance it traveled. So now I'm finding the distance. Distance equals speed multiplied by time. Okay, what is your speed? That's miles per hour, okay? That's going to be 55, and then multiplied by my time, that's 2. So 55 times 2 is 110. So 110. Now when you're measuring distance, it's measured in miles. Okay, a car travels a distance of 400 miles at an average speed of 80 miles per hour. Find the time. Now I'm finding the time, so time equals distance divided by speed. Again, refer to the top, and that tells you how to find it. So the distance is just the miles themselves, okay? Not 80, okay? Or not time, it's distance divided by speed. So the distance is 400 miles. And then the speed is the miles per hour. That would be 80, okay? So 400 divided by 80 is 5. So 5 hours. Okay, a car travels a distance of 300 miles for a time of 5 hours. Find its speed, okay? Again, speed is distance divided by time. So the distance it traveled is 300 miles. The time it traveled is 5 hours. So I divide 300 by 5, and that's 60. So the speed is 60 miles per hour. Okay. Now on this page right here, so you don't have to flip back and forth, speed is labeled as mph, miles per hour. That's distance divided by time. Okay, the distance, and that's just measured in miles, not miles per hour. It's just the miles without the without saying per hour after it. And that's the no, that's a multiplication. That's the speed multiplied by the time. Speed multiplied by time, and then the time is equal to the distance divided by the speed. Alright, so there you go. Pause the video, do those 3 problems. One of them you're finding the time, one of them you're finding the distance. Remember time, if you're finding time, the label is hours.